Don't. Coming in. Why's it focusing on that shit? Shiitake. Hi, buddy. Down here, are we? Set up chairs in there. Right? Set up chairs in there. Want a bit of a tight one this morning. I want to get a video out, sharpish. Juzzy's going to take the floor today. We're going to have a little discussion, come builders, come layman's interpretation of the myths of creation, biblical texts,
UAPs, myths of creation,
psychedelics,
Anunnaki,
Elohim. Right, go mate, fire.
Well,
Let's have it.
yeah, what do you want to know? Right, so 300,000 years ago,
Yeah.
thereabouts,
Yeah.
human beings,
Yeah.
such as we are today,
Yeah.
suddenly appeared on the scene.
Yeah.
Don't think so, but I don't know that they ever found the missing link, yeah?
Yeah.
From a progression of evolution wise, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, that ties in to what the Sumerian texts say
Yeah.
about the Anunnaki coming to this planet and needing slaves and changing the DNA of obviously one of these hominids
Yeah.
into what we are today.
To do their bidding.
That's basically a quick breakdown of Sumerians, their beliefs on how they were created by the Anunnaki. Is it the...
Do they call them the Anunnaki?
Yeah, the Anunnaki is their term, but it means something like from the sky or something like that.
From the stars.
From the stars or something. So, Zachariah Stitchen, he wrote the 12th Planet, which is a book about how he translated all of that stuff. Anyway, let's get to where we're going with it. So, that was 6,000 years ago, and that was all across the Fertile Crescent of Mesopotamia. They were writing in cuneiform, and they were writing about are they all writing about the Anunnaki? I'm pretty sure they were all writing about these gods that came down to Earth. Then you've got
But throughout the ancient civilizations and peoples, there have always been stories of a higher power being involved in the creation of humans, yeah? One form or another.
Pretty
From
much
Sumeria right through to
pretty much
Christianity.
pretty much every country where the people, their origin stories start with someone coming down from the stars.
Yeah.
An intelligent being bringing them knowledge.
Yeah.
And they're usually seen as benevolent.
Benevolent. What, helpers?
Yeah, not malevolent.
Yeah. Not nasties.
So there's another guy out there at the moment, because this stuff I kind of not necessarily the Anunnaki, but I'm certainly interested in the monuments that were built, like the pyramids. You got Peru, where was it called Chichen Itza? Saxai woman always makes me laugh.
Chichen Itza is Mexico.
Okay, what's the other one then?
Teotihuacan is Mexico. They're all Mexico. Peruvian and Machu Picchu.
Machu Picchu. Well, I'm more. Yeah. Well, listen. All of them.
Go on. Get to
They're
the
all
chase.
built with humongous, great big stone blocks that are generally moved from hundreds of miles away and the archaeologists want us to believe that they chopped them out of the ground or out of a cliff face with some sort of boulder, pounding stone, and copper tools, because all of it was built before we had like proper iron or anything like that. Yeah. And that is what we are told to believe. The oldest stuff is usually more heavier and bigger and built better. Yeah. Like Egypt. Yeah. A lot of the pyramids got worse after the big one was built. Yeah. So, if you take the Bible into consideration, the Old Testament, which is part of the Jewish Hebrew text, you know, the Israelites being kicked out of Egypt, that stuff tells us of... There's a reference to a guy called Yahweh, but that was re-scripted 6,000 years ago because they wanted to make it a monotheistic religion. Yeah. Like, we worship one God. Yeah. But if you go... This is what... And I'm getting all my knowledge from a guy called Paul Wallace on the Fifth Kind. If you want to check... If you like this stuff, check him out. He used to work for the Catholic Church, and he was part of a team as well that did translating of the ancient texts. And they take this very seriously, but even back then, 6,000 years ago, they changed the name of the Elohim, which is plural, it means more than one, and they changed it to Yahweh, just to mean this one guy God, who basically, they don't even know that that's what his name was, but it was the guy who Moses met in the mountain. And Yahweh isn't, it's not even a Hebrew word, apparently. They don't understand, and they didn't even have vowels, so nobody even knows if that's what it actually was. It's just that's the word they use now. So, excuse me, we've got the Elohim running around, excuse my snotty nose, we've got the Elohim running around, haven't we? Yeah. And they were called basically that means the powerful ones. And they basically had factions all across that area, the Fertile Crescent, and they were fighting each other, and they seemed to be like these aliens, these entities that had come down and possibly changed our DNA into what we were so they could use us for slaves. Don't quite understand why. If you're that intelligent as an alien, you would have to come to Earth and do all that stuff.
Well, maybe also it's like it's just the done thing. You find a planet that's got all the goodies and the necessaries to. It's a long game, you know what I mean? You get to a point, you cruise around. If we found a planet that was fertile, that had some kind of, you could identify a life form on that planet and go, okay, this could be maybe it was done with the dinosaurs, mate. Maybe it was done with the dinosaurs way back, and that went Pete Tong. So then it starts again. Who knows? There could even be other races, other civilizations that we are, that have been here, that have just been forgotten, just missed, right? It's such a long time. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that is...
other creatures? Not humanoids? Creatures,
yeah, other creatures that have been farmed or modified to see whether or not that species could be successful.
Can evolve.
And then it gets wiped out, right? And this is our shot.
This is our shot.
So you turn up on a planet, you go, okay, that species there is probably most likely to be the one that, you know, it's got 4 limbs, it's climbing around in trees, it can pick stuff up, blah blah blah. Let's modify that species, and that's the one. We'll come back in. Obviously, once you've got through your stuff that you're going to get through, they come back and go and have a look and see where we're at.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? It's like that. The Bible and all of these texts say that they made us in their image, or they used part of their DNA to make us. That's what the Sumerian text says.
Yeah.
And we became really quite formidable quite quickly. So I think there's part of that story says that we were we lived longer. Excuse me, we lived longer. So you've got the stories in the Bible that talk about Noah being, I don't know, 900 years old or whatever. Enoch, he was 360 or whatever before he was. See, he didn't even die. He was taken to heaven.
Yeah, or into space.
Or into space. And a lot of those old canons of the Bible, they talk about the descriptions that they use are quite, well, clearly talking about going to space, meeting angels. And then what is the point of this? The point of this is you've got thousands and thousands of years of humans evolving, building stuff that we couldn't, even today we would struggle to build. Yeah?
Yeah.
Which is where the ancient alien, everybody must have heard of ancient aliens on TV and watched all of them series. I don't go 100% with them because they seem to change the facts to suit themselves quite a lot.
Yeah.
From what I've been told.
So the point is, right, there were these other beings who were in charge, more powerful. In all the ancient religions, we come from these, somehow related to, created by these other people, things that came here for whatever reason, and basically set us on our trajectory, right?
That's basically what happened if you take these texts into example.
Yeah.
For example, right? But then other places, so at some point they were like, well, you've got the flood myth, haven't you? And the flood myth is basically like at some point they must have known that there was going to be a major catastrophe and they decided to let everyone die.
Yeah.
And that's possibly because they were like, well, they've got a little bit too smart.
Yeah. Too big for their boots.
Too big for their boots. What we're going to do, because there's loads of stories of how this benevolent God we had came down and just smashed the hell out, like Babel, caused fire to rain down on it when he thought we were getting too big for our boots.
Yeah.
Well,
that could just be a nuclear bomb. Boom.
Literally.
Atomic explosion.
Yeah.
Right, I've had enough of this lot. We've had enough of this lot. Boom.
Exactly.
Right, that's rain of fire. That's a fire from
Look
the
at
sky.
them cheeky fuckers.
Yeah.
Let's punish them because they're doing stuff that we didn't want them to do. But I think there's a time frame there that all these texts talk about. And I think there's something like, if you take space for example, like if they've gone off for a bit, I don't think anyone's got the technology to beat time. So there's a time dilation. If you fly away from the planet at the speed of light, and you fly away for 10 years, and then you come back, it's been something like 100.
Yeah. So thousands of years have passed. Here.
So it's very easy for them to go off, come back, and just leave us to our own devices, and then come back and go.
See what
what are they up to now?
Yeah, look at them. They're all just killing each other and bombing each other's cities. And
well, they were getting us to do that anyway.
So okay.
So where we're at now is they've buggered off for a bit.
Yeah.
6,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Left us to our own devices.
Yeah.
And now they've come back and they've gone, well, we only went up the road.
And look at them.
Look at them.
Look at these ants.
Look at what they're doing now.
Marauding ants.
They've got nuclear missiles.
Oh, that's it.
Right.
Yeah. So
this is where we're
at. How does it tie in with the psychedelics, with the DMT entities?
Because they used to okay, there's a couple of things there. What did Adam and Eve do? They ate from the apple. They ate from the tree of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
We say it was an apple. No one knows whether it was an apple.
And what did Yahweh say? What did Yahweh say? They can't eat from the tree of knowledge because they will become as we are.
Right, basically. So that's kind of like.
So we will basically open ourselves up, open the filters, and receive the information of the gods. Yeah.
Possibly.
The outside of the simulation.
See, lots of them gods brought us knowledge, war, weaponry. What else? was I talking about?
Does it? So what? So does
Cosmetics, for God's sake.
it? So does taking psychedelics in that early part of our evolution, when our brains are developing, did it improve us? Did it give us insight?
Well,
Or let's go right out on a tangent. They didn't genetically change us. They just introduced us to psychedelic compounds, and then they sod off again for another 100,000 years and come back, and we've been munching mushrooms on the savannah, and all of a sudden we're tool making.
well, that is the stoned ape theory, isn't it? Basically, you're talking about there.
Yeah. So what? So right. So we've established in these ancient times.
Yeah.
These ancient biblical or ancient texts of creation state that there was a race, another race that changed us and made us in their image, and then destroyed us. Yeah, or let us be destroyed, or let us destroy ourselves.
Yeah.
Or just they'd had enough of us, and we were destroyed to the point where there was only a few left. Yeah.
Yeah, like we were talking about last week, it could have been a pole shift. They would have known something was coming, and then rather than like round a load of us up, which why would you bother if we were just cattle to them?
They just
went,
Sodom.
right, it's all going to happen. Look, we'll just sit out in the outer solar system and watch that solar flare or that massive meteorite strike the Earth, and it will just absolutely annihilate the best part of them. We'll give this guy Noah, or whatever his name was, because he's got many names as well in many different stories, isn't he?
Yeah.
We'll give him some a little bit of information, like the Ark, build an Ark and all that, and then it will start again. And then when it starts again, we'll come down, and we'll try. This time we'll try and keep them on the level. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they get rid of half of the because. You got the what was that when giants were wiped out with the flood? You know what I mean? All of these ancient myths. That could have been part of it. Anyway, they've gone away. They've let this stuff happen. Then we've started up again, which they want us to believe from Noah and his fucking offspring. But how did that happen?
I think it's all metaphor. It's all metaphor, isn't it? These ancient. How much can you write on a piece of stone? You got to turn it into a very simple story.
Yeah.
But within that story, there are layers to be unpicked. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
clearly.
So the tree of knowledge has got to be psychedelics.
Yeah. What else would it be?
Right, according to McKenna, that is the case. Like just with the stoned ape, or is it? Is it what? Or is it? I don't know, because you're like, what would be forbidden about psychedelics that improve your respect for the planet, improve your?
Maybe that's just something if the effect it has on us now.
Because now we've lost respect for the planet, and all of a sudden you regain respect for the planet.
Yeah, what makes you think that we had respect for the planet all them years ago?
No, because there probably weren't many people about, was there? So you lived off, but they lived off the land, didn't they? They lived in harmony with the planet.
That's an ancient belief. That's a belief that they want us to believe, that we roamed around with spiritual feelings about. But there is another thing, like we would chase a herd of fucking mammoths off a cliff and just slaughter fucking 20 of them in one go.
Yeah.
And then
freeze.
Just cut their bodies up and use what we could and
fuck
the rest off.
But when you look at us now, we are the only creature that doesn't fit in with the harmonies of the planet, right? Are we? We're not. We don't. We manipulate our environment.
There is no other creature like
we
human.
push everything else out.
Yeah.
To make way for ourselves, right? So you could argue that if there's one alien species on this planet, it's us. In as far as the hierarchy.
That's not a bad argument.
Of
really,
the planet goes, yeah. I don't know. I think I'm just trying to tie in.
Is it the
I'm looking for a link between the psychedelic realms,
yeah,
and the myths of creation. Like you look at Ezekiel, right? Ezekiel's wheels.
Yeah.
Now you could quite comfortably, when you hear the description of Ezekiel's wheels,
yeah,
it's animal faces, human faces with thousands of eyes and wheels within wheels turning, right?
Yeah.
And he stood on the mountaintop and he's looking up at this being, which is sometimes written as it's an angel, right? And the others, and when you look at you digest the imagery of what he was seeing, you can say, well, that could very well be a UFO, but quite comfortably and conversely, because he stood there looking at this thing in the sky, it's the wheels turning, right? And but it's got eyes. There are eyes. And what do you see on a breakthrough DMT trip? You see eyes. I've got them tattooed all over my back because that is a huge component of the visuals aspect of a DMT experience. Thousands of eyes, yeah?
I don't think I've ever seen eyes.
Haven't you?
No.
Loser.
I don't think I've got a soul,
look,
though.
just look at Alex Gray's artwork. It's full of eyes.
Yeah.
Right. That to me. I look at Alex Gray's artwork and I see the closest representation to a DMT experience, other than what's his face?
In
Sedigris. But I'm just saying, like, some theories are that Noah, is it Noah?
Noah.
Who saw the wheels?
Ezekiel, yeah.
Was it Noah?
No.
Not Noah, was it? Who was it? Ezekiel, sorry, losing it. So Ezekiel, did a like Rick's theories on the acacia tree? Did an acacia tree burn so hot that or did they create some kind of chemistry that created DMT vapor and they inhaled it and bang, they're in a DMT trip and he's looking at this thing? Or was it something that came down? There's a crossover, mate, that we're missing. There's a crossover.
There is.
That is, like what I keep saying, I'll keep banging on about it. There is something to do with our perception that we are missing, that we don't get, that we aren't able to perceive, that is a link which will at some point in our evolution, if we're not all dead, become very obvious. Like they're talking about in the congressional hearings, is there a mind-body connection between these craft and the occupants controlling the craft? Yeah, is it some kind of consciousness-related way of connecting with this machine that enables it to fly? Yeah. So when you look at DMT, that was asked by the congressional.
That's what they're saying.
That's what.
Because they're like biological.
They're flying with their like they're flying. There's a merging of occupant and machine.
But they haven't seen an occupant.
Well, apparently they have, haven't they? Apparently there's.
Oh, of course.
They're basing it on this immaculate constellation, and that Luna. I can't remember what her name is. Luna. Asks Lou Elizondo, is there a link between? Is there a mind-body connection between these craft and their occupants? Is it something to do with consciousness? And I think the whole thing is something to do with our consciousness, with being conscious, and this crossover of these realities and these dimensions.
Because without consciousness, without being observed, that's the wave and the particle.
It's the wave and the particle. Do we collapse the wave function you know what I mean? Is there a meld? There's something that we're missing that is going to tie in? I am sure. Don't ask me why. It's just purely a intuitive feeling that I have that the DMT experience, what happens, maybe what.
Or the psychedelic experience.
The way the psychedelic breakthrough experience moves you from one reality to another, is going to maybe that brain state. Maybe all of a sudden it's like, you know, in 10 years' time we have artificial general intelligence, and that artificial general intelligence says, I've mapped every brain function, and I'm just letting you guys know that when you have a breakthrough psychedelic experience, your brain is in a certain way. If you sit in that craft that you've back engineered and get your brain into that state, you will all of a sudden connect with that craft, and you will be, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying? There's going to be the way everything's moving to Terence McKenna's thingy at the end of time. There's this merging of technology, of artificial intelligence, of the UAP phenomena, of the psychedelic renaissance, the whole thing. We're just not quite there yet with how our perception, what we perceive to be real, is going to change, because we're going to unlock some shit, we're going to discover some shit, and we're going to go, hang on a minute. If you do this to the brain and you change the brain waves of this human, you might be able to function. You might be able to.
I was going to say, you can't function in that state.
No, but you might be able. You might be able to, like let's say with the extended state, someone goes into the extended state for 3 hours, right? And on hour 3, all of a sudden they meld back into this reality, but they're also in that reality, right? So then do you know what I mean? There's going to be some discovery that takes place at some point where this whole thing comes together, and we just look at reality fundamentally in a different way, and that is then everything's just going to go whoa, and the aliens are going to, the DMT entities are going to be like yes, and the aliens will be like they've cracked it. Welcome to the family. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, bruv?
Yeah,
I just get excited there.
You did, but why don't they just turn up and go, here?
You've got to learn it, haven't you? You've got to earn it.
I don't think they're.
You've got to learn it to earn it.
I don't actually think they're that nice.
Well, then obviously
I think that's why they didn't want us to do psychedelics,
because
of the knowledge. Is that a sunrise to be beheld? So they didn't want us to do. That's why the Tree of Knowledge was banned. They didn't want us doing that stuff, because there's them aliens that were in this physical reality did not want us meddling and meeting up with those entities that are in that reality, because they're gonna eventually they're gonna go, wait, you know them things that keep turning up on your planet, they ain't nice.
No, they're gonna eat you. They're going to eat your souls.
They literally want to take you away. Maybe that's what we're leading to. The Tree of Knowledge, you're not allowed that information. They didn't want us to do it. They changed us. They made us in their likeness. And now and that's why they said, don't eat from the Tree of Knowledge. Right? Don't start covering up your genitalia. We want you running around naked. I mean, as if that was the thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's all very bizarre and all very moving very fast, isn't it? I mean, you could argue that we've now on this planet, just the word's got out. You know what I mean? Word's got out, and there's all sorts of different things turning up, and this little secret that was over here. And you're talking when you're looking at on cosmic scales and cosmic time frames, it's a blink of an eye, isn't it? This little corner of the universe over here, where they've had this little experiment going on, it's just someone's petri dish in a lab, right? And then all of a sudden everybody's found it, everybody's discovered it, and then they're all coming to have a look at the petri dish.
Yeah.
Like these kids in this science class, look what they've made, and everyone's coming over to have a butcher's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could have all sorts of different factions of intelligences turning up here now.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's definitely something here, mate. There is 100% something interacting with this planet at the moment, and probably has done for a long time, but it's ramped up right now. That's for sure. Then
I don't think it's because we've become technologically advanced. I think we've already been technologically advanced.
In the past.
Yeah. Perhaps
just
it
in
is.
a different way.
Perhaps it is. They're just coming to watch the end of the...
Everyone's just bought tickets.
Yeah.
They're all turning up.
It's Armageddon.
Just coming to watch this planet get destroyed.
Possibly.
In the coming weeks and years.
And some of us will be taken up and then put back down once it's all over again. A bit like Noah. It's the great flood's coming again.
It'd be a shame, wouldn't it?
What do you mean?
It'd be a laugh.
Why would it be a shame? We'll be dead.
Yeah, but you know, and then you know, then it would have been fun to have lived through it, wouldn't it? Oh dear.
Fun.
Anyway, is that a wrap?
I don't know. There's just so much.
It's endless, isn't it? Endless.
The whole thing is endless. Like we were saying last week, you just get fed UAP stuff. I get fed constant ancient civilizations.
Well, I've also now turned back towards the psychedelics, because I think, like Christmas is coming, the end of the year is coming. We've kind of gone full circle with the content that we're making, right? We've broadened our horizons, which I think is a good thing. I think it will bring new viewers in. It will bring and people. Some people will get open to different ideas and stuff. But I think, you know, we talked about doing all these UAP experiments and stuff. Never happened. It will, but it never happened. Life's been busy for all of us, etc. I think really the thing we need to do now is have a major blast.
A breakthrough.
A major blast off, and go into that experience with the intention of contact. That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's what I think, right? Because you can sit here and you can do your laser pen experiments, and you know, I've seen some good stuff going on with that, and some weird. I'll show you in a minute when we leave. Some weird, a pucker video surfaced of that, but we can have we can try and do a direct contact, Deems contact.
Psilocybin with a pen off.
For the end of the year, for one of our videos before the end of 2024, going into 2025, have a contact experience, personal contact experience of our own.
Do a Terence McKenna. And
see what comes of that, and have a good old video talk about what happened, and did we contact?
Yeah.
And who did we contact?
Well, we ain't got much time left, have we?
We ain't got much time left, so I'm going to New York. I'm going to New York next week.
Oh, it's next week,
if any of my New York guests.
What are we going to do about doing a video then?
Well, we'll do one before.
All right, we'll get one set up.
All right, well, that's it for today then.
Well, yeah, I did try and expand on it. I had so much more
to
say,
it was good though, because we touched on it. We touched on we've bounced around some ideas about creation and what potentially these UAP this current UAP situation is all about, you know, and just throw
what is
some
the
ideas.
Conclusion, then? We were put here by aliens. They didn't want us to do psychedelics, and they let this world get destroyed a time before. Maybe they're here to watch it get destroyed again.
Yeah, and maybe if we're lucky, somehow in years to come, through artificial intelligence, psychedelic breakthroughs, there will be some kind of perceptual shift that we understand the nature of reality differently and therefore unlock super secrets of the universe. Or we all gonna fucking die in a ball of fire in the coming months. One way or another, it'd be entertaining, wouldn't it?
One way or another, we'll find out, won't we?
Alright, well that'll be it for now. Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
Like and subscribe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We need your likes, we need your subscriptions. Put it out there, get it out there. Peace, contact, D&T, coming soon. Boom.
Be kind.